Multi-vector integration is Kazakhstan's chosen course of development. In the program, Single Market. Integration is not only an advantageous but also quite distinctive instrument of economic development due to its multiplier effect. Evidence to this is the experience of partnership of various levels. Hello, my name is Pavel Koktashev. You're watching Single Market. In today's episode, trial run of the Eurasian Economic Union, perspectives from Minsk and Astana. What are the business representatives from Bahrain looking for in the steppes of Kazakhstan? Betting on bitumen, experience of joint production. And coming right up, the latest trends in the sphere of renewal energy. Reserves of traditional sources of energy, coal, oil and gas are not inexhaustible. Developed countries were among the first to acknowledge this 30 years ago. In addition to traditionally used resources, they decided to develop alternative energy sources: solar, wind, geothermal and biomass energy. The field of renewal energy is taking on a more clear shape. For example, the overall volume of world wind energy has already reached 282.3 thousand megawatts. Its trade turnover amounts to $75 billion. Forecasts are being made regarding the dynamics of world production. It is estimated that by 2018, the volume of electric energy produced from renewable resources will reach almost 7 terawatts. Capacities in the field of hydroenergy will play a key role in general production, reaching 4.5 terawatts by that time. Regarding Kazakhstan, the potential capacity of our country's renewable energy resources is estimated at 1 trillion kilowatt hours. Small hydroelectric stations have already begun their operations in the Almaty, Jambul, South Kazakhstan and Karaganda regions. Also, solar energy production stations have been set up in Almaty and South Kazakhstan. During the 9-month period of 2014, the production of electric energy from renewable resources amounted to 383.4 million kilowatt hours. In 2015, 9 new renewable energy stations are planned to be put into operation. Among them, 3 will use solar energy, another 3 wind energy, plus 2 smaller hydroelectric stations. The overall capacity of these new stations is estimated at 113 megawatts. And now, returning to the latest trends, the prime cost of energy produced from renewable resources continues to fall. As a result, this sector of the economy is becoming more competitive. For Kazakhstan, this dynamic is of great importance. The vast territory of our country has a lot of areas with very low population density. And in these circumstances, the use of renewable resources is an optimal decision. Therefore, development of renewable energy is relevant for us not only from an environmental perspective, but also from the perspective of social and economic prosperity. The 1st of January 2015. This date symbolizes the beginning of a new stage of integration. We have the opportunity to take a look back at the events of 2014 and distinguish the main rules of the game for the participants of the new economic community. The Eurasian Economic Union is a logical successor to a chain of integration processes that have been initiated across the post-Soviet space. First, it was the establishment of the Commonwealth of Independent States, then the Eurasian Economic Community, followed by the Customs Union, and now, finally, the Eurasian Economic Union. Over the historical course of events, not all potential participants of this union reached the final stage of integration. Others made a bid on joining the foundational trio of Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan. 29th of May 2014, Astana. This is the date and the place where the historical document on the creation of the Eurasian Economic Union was signed. The population of the Union, 170 million people, 7th largest in the world. It represents one of the largest consumer markets. About 1/4 of the world's mineral resources falls to the share of its participant countries. A new economic alliance is being established on the international arena, possessing full international legal standing and operating on the basis of the principles of the World Trade Organization. We are ready for the progressive movement on the path towards the full realization of agreements that were reached over the course of challenging negotiations. The fact that this process will be truly challenging was demonstrated by the following events. October 10, 2014, Minsk. The key event of this meeting that was being held under the auspices of the Supreme Eurasian Economic Council was the signing of the agreement on Armenia's joining the Eurasian Economic Union. The document provides for a transition stage regarding the introduction of customs duties on certain groups of goods, items used for military purposes, construction and modernization of nuclear power stations, civilian helicopters and airplanes. I am convinced that the signing of this historical document will give a head start to the beginning of a new stage within the Eurasian economic space. There is another interesting detail of the Minsk meeting: cooperation prospect of Vietnam, Israel, India, Egypt, and other countries with the Eurasian Economic Union within the framework of free trade. By the way, the discussion of this topic was continued even during the final session of the Supreme Eurasian Economic Council. However, we should not get ahead of ourselves. December 23, 2014, Moscow. The so-called trial run of the Eurasian Economic Union was held on this date, and one can say that it was quite successful, as its conclusive stage was what everyone has been heatedly discussing throughout all of December. Can the trio become a quintet? Just now, the agreement was signed on Kyrgyzstan's membership. We are convinced that the memberships of Armenia and Kyrgyzstan within the Eurasian Economic Union are directly in line with the national interest of these countries and open up wide horizons for their socio-economic development. During the Moscow session, it was announced that Armenia officially becomes a full-fledged member of the Eurasian Economic Union on the 2nd of January, and Kyrgyzstan on the 9th of May of 2015. However, Kyrgyzstan will start taking part in the activities of the Eurasian Economic Commission already in January of the upcoming year. The clear and fair guidelines of Kyrgyzstan's membership have been defined, as well as the dates on the introduction of a single customs tariff and cessation of customs controls along the Kyrgyzstan-Kazakhstan border. In addition, dates on the formation of Eurasian Economic Union single markets have been set. 2019, the electric energy market. 2025, the market of oil, gas, and petroleum products. By that time, it is planned to establish a supranational body for the regulation on the financial market, which will be based in Almaty. Regarding some negative moments of the process of Eurasian integration, significant cost of such a serious endeavor as the economic integration across a large territory with the participation of a number of countries are inevitable. Our main task is not to come up with theoretical arguments, but to simply demonstrate those concrete projects that were made possible exactly because of this integration. One of our goals, as well as of journalists, is to represent exactly this position, so that entrepreneurs do not make up non-existent challenges for themselves. Well, despite the turbulent seas, this ship named the Eurasian Economic Union is setting sail. On board are 5 member countries. Goods, products, capital, and labor will be traveling across the Eurasian Economic Union space under the flag of free movement. Let's wish this ship fair winds and calm seas. The overall territory of grazing areas in Kazakhstan is more than 180 million hectares. Our country is 5th in the world in this ranking. International experts are already considering Kazakhstan as a potential supplier of eco-friendly meat onto world markets. The representatives of Bahrain's Food and Agricultural Committee visited the southern region of Kazakhstan in order to assess the quality of exported produce. The Kingdom of Bahrain. This is the only island state of the Arab world, which is located in the western part of the Persian Gulf. 92% of its territory are deserts or semi-deserts, hence it does not have the necessary conditions for animal farming. Nevertheless, the main traditional dishes of Bahrain are made with beef and, more often, lamb meat. Most of the meat is imported, and Kazakhstan has a real chance to become one of the suppliers.
I'm so happy with the quantity that you have. I'm so happy with everything going around. We have seen the pasture. We are going to see the slaughterhouse, and so far, things are going on the right way. We are aiming to import from here. We're just sorting out the logistic and the prices.
In the summer of this year, a delegation from Bahrain, together with representatives of the Kazagro holding, made a special tour of the sheep breeding enterprises and meat processing factories in two southern regions of the country. Foreign guests noted that the potential of the pastoral resources, were convinced by the wonderful taste of Kazakhstan's lamb meat, and voiced their interest in importing our produce.
For the slaughtered ones should be, inspected here, and alongside with the carcasses, a health certificate should be attached. Besides the temperature of the temperature which preserved, which are the carcasses are preserved, alongside or through the journey from the Kazakhstan to Bahrain.
The infrastructure requires development. New slaughterhouses have to be built. And there is also the question of transportation logistics. If the price policy and quality satisfy our consumers, then I think we have a prospective market before us, the Middle East. The business relations of Kazakhstan and the Kingdom of Bahrain are not only premised on commercial interest, but also commonly shared traditions in the sphere of religion and requirements for meat production, more specifically in the sphere of halal product standards. Therefore, it is quite possible that this pilot project will result in more long-term cooperation. At the turn of the year, world oil prices have dropped to a record low. For Kazakhstan, this has become yet another reminder. Oil mining is good, but in addition, having a developed processing industry is even better. In December of 2013, the first bitumen production enterprise was opened in the city of Aktau. This project was realized due to cooperation with China. Our report from Aktau is next. Kazakhstan is one of the top 20 countries with the longest road networks and is in the 117th place in the World Road Quality Rating. One of the main reasons behind this disappointing assessment is the deficit of road construction materials and resources. For a country participating in the global project on the construction of an international transit corridor, Western Europe, Western China, and striving towards modernization of the national road network, the quality of roads becomes a strategic issue. That is why the opening of facilities for the production of bitumen, one of the most important components of asphalt, is a great step forward towards improvement of the entire road and transport sector of Kazakhstan. The capacities of the new bitumen production facility that was opened in the Mangistau region in 2013 should drive the required imports of this precious material down to practically zero. We've reached full import substitution of bitumen. What's more, we are producing a product of international quality which is in demand on the domestic market and also has great export potential. The factory in Mangistau is managed jointly by one of Kazakhstan's national companies and a Chinese investment trust corporation. They're cooperating on a parity basis. The project was launched thanks to the efforts of two companies, without the use of government funds and without affecting the interests of taxpayers. Among some of the factors contributing to the positive investment return is the territorial proximity of the extraction area. First of all, the oil extracted from the Karajanbas depository is suitable for the production of high-quality bitumen. Second of all, the necessary infrastructure is in place: railroad trains, a water supply system, and electricity. Third of all, governmental preference schemes play a substantial role. Today, this facility is working at full capacity, 520,000 tons per year. This amount is sufficient for laying 1,700 kilometers of new roads. Understanding the importance of bitumen for road construction leads us to conclude that this joint enterprise in the Mangistau region is crucial for the improvement and construction of a modernized road network in Kazakhstan. Saule Altin, Anatoly Baluisky, exclusively for Single Market. That's all for today. This was Pavel Koktashev. Until next time on Single Market, a territory without borders.